Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Tech 20 Tuesday. Today's topic will be QR codes in the classroom. QR stands for Quick Response, which means we can scan a barcode like this, a QR code, and immediately have feedback. The feedback may be in the form of text or an image, voice, a website, YouTube link, many different things. You may have seen QR codes on advertisements, posters throughout the school, at the grocery store. Today we're going to talk about how we can use them in our classroom. First of all, I would like to list off a few of the websites that I've used. I really like these websites for creating the QR codes. They are very user-friendly. And I didn't want to wait until the end of the video to post these. I know sometimes when I go back and look at some of the Tech 20 Tuesday videos, I'm looking for something specific. What was the website? What was this? What was that? So at the very beginning of the video, we have these websites that I'll be talking about today. You may want to go to the App Store to download a QR code creator or a QR code reader. This one up here, Crafter, QR code and barcode reader, I've used that one today to scan different things. Your students will have to have some type of QR code reader on a device such as an iPad or an Android phone so that they can scan the QR codes and get the text, the image, the voice, etc. Here's one of my favorite websites when creating QR codes. This is the QR Voice. So what you do up in here, you type what you would like. This is text to speech. So I type what I would like in here, press the blue button, and a QR code will be created. Now if I scan this, it will take me to a website where I will hear what I've typed in here. Would you like to try QR codes in your classroom? So this, when you scan it, it will not give you the text, it will give you the voice. I love that. I see many different uses for that in the classroom. Typing in stories and different things, and then students can hear them played back. Here's an example of using QR codes in a grade 1 math classroom. So I'm going to talk about using QR codes at different grade levels. This one is for grade 1 math N9, addition and subtraction to 20. So what I thought I would do is create some word problems, put them into QR codes, have students go around the classroom or go around the school, scan them, answer them. As I went through and created the QR codes, I decided it would be best to stay in the classroom. For example, if you look at number 4, read this book and use the counters to model the addition and subtraction fact families. So what I will do is have question number 4, the QR code with the book. So the student can scan the QR code, the book is there, the counters are there, everything that they need. So this particular example will be done in the classroom. You'll notice that I have 10 word problems. They are all numbered and I don't have any answers. So wouldn't it be nice to just magically put all 10 very quickly into QR codes and keep on going? So I'm going to wish for that. And here we go. We have a QR code generator website, classtools.net. This is a free website where I can take what I have typed into Word and I'm going to copy and paste it into this website. Here we go. So here's the QR challenge, grade 1 math N9. And you'll notice I had to make a few adjustments to my word problems. We no longer have the numbers, which is fine because this website, it's going to create the QR code question 1, question 2, question 3. It's going to have it labeled for me. You'll also notice that I had to put an asterisk and the answer in there. Now sometimes answers will vary, so that was my answer. It didn't take very long to go back into my Word document, take out my numbers, put in the symbol and the answer. Then I was able to copy and paste them into the website. So here is the QR challenge, grade 1 math N9. Here's the very first word problem that I had created, which was make up a word problem that uses the number sentence 6 plus 11. So when students scan this, that's what they will see. Here's a closer example, and you can see down here this is question 1 of the 10 word problems that I have. And we have a teacher here. She has the first question up on the smartboard and she's showing her students how to hold the iPad and how to scan the QR code, and then it will pop up with what the word problem is. Now there are many different apps that you might want to use. Students will have to have a QR code reader app installed. We were talking about creating QR codes. Now you need to be able to scan and read a QR code. So devices will have to have a scanner on them. Here's an example of using the QR codes in the classroom and down the hallway. Here's a grade 1 student. So you can see right here the black and white barcode, and then after she scanned it, the word problem popped up right here. You do not need the internet for these things. The QR voice one, the text to speech that I spoke of a few moments ago, you will need an internet connection for that. But these, which are directly going to text, you do not need the internet. I'm not sure what your policy is in your school for students bringing their own devices, but if students are permitted to bring in things like an iPod Touch, they do not need to connect to the school wireless to do an activity like this. They need to have downloaded the scanner app at home, and then they can scan at school. Again, every school policy is different. Here's an example. We can see the student up here. He is opening the scanner app, scanning, and he has his word problem. This is the grade 1 classroom. Here are our word problems that we spoke of a moment ago. Question number 1 was make up a word problem that uses the number sentence 6 plus 11, and there's the answer that we had put in. So if I go to this website right here, it will give me all of the information, and I can go back and edit this, which is awesome. So this is classtools.net. Another website is goqr.me, and you'll notice I have a big yellow arrow here to point out that this is free of charge. So you can use this if you are doing fundraising in your school and you want to put a QR code and sell it on t-shirts or different things. Commercial and print usage allowed. So you are permitted to use this website, put in what you would like, it will create the QR code for you for free, and then you may use it. This is a website that I used when I was doing one QR code at a time. If I just wanted a little bit of information, I didn't go to the previous website, the classtools.net. I used the goqr.me. If you are doing multiple QR codes at one time, I suggest the classtools.net. I also did a scavenger hunt throughout the school with grade 2, and so they would scan this and go on to the next clue. This was very exciting. We divided the class up into 2 teams. Half of the class stayed in the classroom with the classroom teacher, and half of the class went with me. And students were each given a QR code. They would scan the QR code and find out what their job was for that day. Now I realize in this video it's a little hard to see. This one says problem solver. This one was teacher. So we had a teacher, a student teacher, who was in the classroom, and then another student who was the teacher who came with us, who kept everyone under control. Scavenger hunter, photographer, and the last one down here is videographer. So we had a student in the classroom and a student with the group in the hall on the scavenger hunt videoing what was going on. We had the photographer, we had students who were responsible to scan the QR codes, and then we would decide where we needed to go. We also had links set up with the teacher in the classroom and myself, so I was carrying my teacher laptop around, and we could link back. So we could read what the clue was to the class that was back in the classroom with the homeroom teacher, and we could all decide where we thought the clue meant for us to go to find the next one. That was very exciting. All of these, like this example, job roles for QR code scavenger hunt, all of those are available and they will be attached to this video, so you don't have to do them yourself. Here's an example of a grade 4 teacher. She did this project a few years ago, and when I asked her if she had a copy, she didn't really have a copy laying around, so I quickly made one. And what it was she asked the students in pairs to create a chart with the 3 types of rock. They had to find a picture of the rock, and then they had to write some information about the types of rock, keeping in mind that parent-teacher interview was coming up and that parents could scan these, other students could scan these. So creating for an authentic audience, for your peers, for your parents, and this worked out very well. This same teacher, Mrs. Webb Shears, also has a blog where she talks about QR codes, and when she was ready to introduce a new artist, Michelangelo, she sent the students on a scavenger hunt throughout the school to find out information about this artist. Here's the QR code. This is the blog for Mrs. Webb Shears. This was a couple of years ago when she was doing Michelangelo and she wanted to do QR codes. So here she explains what QR codes are. She had a lot of parents that year who were referring back to her blog and wanting to know what was going on in the classroom. So she has a quick little explanation of QR codes, how they were used, a video showing students going on their scavenger hunt throughout the school, and here are the clues that she used. You'll also notice that parents and student teachers, different people, commented on using the QR codes. So we have a student up here who thought that it was a blast, and parents, there was a student teacher, a guest teacher. QR codes can also be used not just during classroom time. I have a technology club at DeBeck Elementary School, so sometimes we meet at lunchtime. And this particular day we were using QR codes and creating QR codes to go with one of the fundraising campaigns. And you can see down here that I have a student who has some of the QR codes here. This particular example was showing the students, we have some smaller ones, we have some larger ones. Why do you think they look that way? And they were able to tell me that one like this has more information. It has more little squares, it has more information. Again, this document will be attached to the video if you would like to use it and make it your own. So today's technology vocabulary, I couldn't just take them into the lab and say, okay, this is what we are doing today. We had to talk about copy and paste. I wanted to use the snipping tool. We had to talk about going back and forth between websites, and then I was able to write some notes for next time. No, we did not get through all of this in 30 minutes. It took about 3 noon-hour sessions. So here are the QR codes. This one I think says DES Rocks, DeBeck Elementary School, whereas this one has more information, which might be the contact information. You could grab a scanning device and scan it and see what it says. Now here's an example of using QR codes at the high school level. This is grade 9 literacy. Students were asked to do an autobiography and to include pictures. So the teacher wanted to incorporate more technology into the class. We had the copy and paste using the snipping tool, and then the QR code here in the center. Students were given guidelines for their autobiography, and they all created QR codes. Again, that authentic audience. Other students in the classroom would be scanning their QR code and getting the information. Fundraising campaign. So back to DeBeck Elementary School again. You can see right here a student is using the snipping tool, and she is attaching some of this information into a QR code that was then sent home for parents. Using QR codes in grade 4. So this is an upcoming project that we will be doing in grade 4 social studies. I have a teacher who has shown her students the Stomp and Tom video about the provinces and territories and their capitals across Canada. And now we are going to use the netbooks at the school and the iPads, and students are going to create their own videos similar to Stomp and Tom's, and the videos will include QR codes, which will have information about the provinces, the territories, and the cities. We also have QR codes in the real world. You can see my poor beat up banana here from lunch. Right here, when you scan this QR code, it will take you to this website. So this is an example where you will have to have access to the internet. You will need to be connected. Some of the QR codes are text only and we don't need to be connected, and some of them we do. So this takes us to the Dole website, and here we have different recipes and we can find out information about this company. Some of your students might even have a QR code in their lunchbox. Can you think of other ways that you may be able to use these? Now that I've given you a few ideas, depending on your grade level and the subject area that you teach, you might have some ideas floating around there. Here is a QR code from the Raisin box, and this one is from Cheerios, and here we have coffee. Maybe you want to do something on nutrition. If you're doing an outcome that involves advertising, this is an advertisement that came in the mail. These two came on technology products, and they will take you to the company's website to give you some more information on the company itself. What about music class? Could you see perhaps linking a QR code with a YouTube video on stringed instruments? Or maybe giving students hints about a type of note and they have to answer what the note is that you're thinking of. We talked about a scavenger hunt in art class, but also again linking it with information that you would find on the web. Nutrition, we talked about social studies, science. If you have any questions, you could talk to one of your tech mentors and they might have an idea of what somebody is doing in another school and be able to share the ideas. The projects that I mentioned in this video will be attached to the video, and you can have those and use those as you would like. So we talked about QR codes today, and not just using them with literacy and numeracy. And here are a few helpful websites. Kathy Schrock at the top has some great ideas on how you can use QR codes in the classroom. We have a Tech 20 Tuesday video done by Wayland last year if you'd like to check that out. He has some great ideas as well. And Mrs. Webshears, we spoke of her science and her art activity that she did with QR codes. This is her blog. And with Wayland's activity, he also did another one kind of with a guidance lesson, and it was on Fill Your Bucket. So he had primary students matched up with older elementary students, and they came up with bucket filling activities. The primary students came up with some positive messages to be bucket fillers, and the older students helped them type them into the QR code generator site, and then they were able to create QR codes to put around their school. And if you were feeling down or needed a little pick-me-up, you could scan one of the QR codes and it had a nice bucket filling message. If you want more information on that, you can contact wayland.dixon@mbed.mb.ca. My name is Angela Taylor, and you can contact me at angela.taylor@mbed.mb.ca, or any of the other tech mentors would be glad to help you out. Thank you.